Hi everyone, welcome to the composition of functions from graphs and tables notes. So we're going to start by finding compositions from a table, then we're going to move to a graph, and if you have not watched the video about how to find it algebraically, then go back and watch that video. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to read the problem, we're going to rewrite it if needed, and go ahead and solve it from there. So we have f of g of 8. So just so you know, it could be written as f of g of 8 like this. However, we want it in the way that it was written for us, but you do need to know both ways. So first thing we're going to find is g of 8, that inside piece. Okay, we always start with the innermost part. So I go over to my table, I find where 8 is, and I make sure that I look where g of x is, and it looks like the point that intersects is that 4. So g of 8 is equal to 4. Now that I know that, I am going to use that and substitute it in for f of g of 8. So that would be f, and we know g of 8 is equal to 4. So now I'm going to find f of 4. So I find 4, I find where f is, and I look for where they intersect, and they intersect at 4. So f of 4 equals 4. So therefore f of g of 8 is equal to 4. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have, let's see, f of g of 5. So we start by finding g of 5. Again, always starting from the inside, working our way out. So we find 5 on the x column, g of x on that column. We see where they intersect at 8. So g of 5 is 8. Then we're going to substitute that value in. So that would be f of 8, because g of 5 is 8. So we do the same concept. We have 8 here. We look at down the f of x column. We see where they intersect. That would be 9. So f of 8 is 9, which means f of g of 5 is equal to 9. So if you want to pause this video and give it a try, pause the video, try C and D, and then check your answers once you're done. So we have f of 5. So f of 5, let me erase what I already have. F of 5, we look here, we see where they intersect. That would be 0. So f of 5 is equal to 0. So we want to find g of 0. G of 0 would be, here's 0, here's g. It looks like it is 9. Looking at our next one, g of f of 3, that'd be f of 3, which is equal to, let's see, looking at our table, here's 3, here's f, it looks like it's 8. Now that means I want to find g of 8. So I go back to my table, g of 8, 8 is here, g is here, looks like it is 4. And that's how you find a composition from a table. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you write them down so you remember them to ask your teacher. Now going to a table, same concept, except now we have a table. So again, we start from the inside, so g of 3. So I want to identify g of 3 first. So I'm going to make sure that I use the g graph, which is this one right here. I find the x value of 3. I go up to see where it intersects that y value, which is 4. So then I want to find f of 4. So I use the f graph. I find where an x is 4. The y value where it intersects the graph is 0. So f of g of 3 is 0. Okay, repeating that process. So here we go. we have f of g of 1. Again, we start from the inside, so that would be g of 1. So g of 1, we make sure we use the g graph. We find 1 as an x value. We go up and we see that that y value is 3. So g of 1 is 3. So that means we want to find f of 3. F of 3, you go to the f graph, you find 3, you see where that y value is, and it is 2. So f of g of 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so if you want to pause the video and try C and D on your own and then restart the video to check your work, go ahead and do so now. So this one, we want to find g of f of 1. So you start from the inside. That means we want to find f of 1. So I need to make sure that I use the f graph. I find f of 1. F of 1 goes to 3. Then I substitute that in and find g of 3. So g of 3 goes up here to 4. So my final answer for this one is 4. Okay, let me erase my markings on the graph. And our last one, we have g of f of 0. So we're going to start by finding f of 0. So f of 0 is equal to 0 on that graph would be right there. And it looks like it goes to 4. So I want to find g of 4. G of 4 is right here. We go up to find that y value, and it is 5. So g of f of 0 is 5. If you have any questions on this video, please make sure you write them down and you ask your teacher the next time you see them. And I will see you in the next video.